So you want success. Success is a ritual. It's a way of life. And I'm talking about ultimate success. You want ultimate success. So, ultimate success comes from habits. And either our habits or the things that we continually do every day are part of that success, and our success is supported by our habits, or it's not. And if it's not, it's very easy to see that, how our own habits are not supportive of our ultimate success. And sometimes the rosebud, when it is in the stage right before blossoming, experiences much more pain to stay wrapped up than to simply blossom into something that gives so much more joy than a tightly wrapped green stem thingy. But blossoming, or the coming alive stage of the phoenix, is pretty important to a lot of people. And how we relate to ourselves, so important for our success, because our success actually starts and ends with us. My success starts and ends with me. And whenever we even communicate to ourselves through images, through feelings, through language, these things can be described as chemical cocktails. Even language is chemical cocktails. Words are chemical cocktails. Each word in sequence as I speak it is actually activating different parts of your brain and aligning your brain and causing different states of consciousness. So, you could actually call language mind control. Although, language can free you. It can free you through the liberation of attaining salvation and the process and the habits and the rituals that take us to our salvation, which is really just success. I use the word salvation as another word for success. So we want to be saved from the negative, and we want to experience the positive. By the way, I am a mentor for that, so feel free to contact me, RedPillLive.com. Take the red pill, and I can mentor you personally through the process if you'd like. Although, you could try yourself through your current understanding of language. So we communicate to ourselves through language, and language, when we choose to create language, that actually creates us. So we create language, language creates us in a whole bunch of different ways. So simply learning how to trigger different emotional states and influence ourselves and each other through language is, it can just be really powerful. And it's like activating different chemical cocktails. And some of the best speakers in the world are amazing at putting you into different states of consciousness. We have access to billions of states of consciousness, although most of us are within the ritual or the habit of maybe just a few states of consciousness, maybe about 10 a day, because we learn through patterning in our brains. And so if we create different patterns, if we install different patterns consciously, then by repeating it over and over and over and over, subconsciously, these patterns and habits actually sink through our brains and go deeper and deeper in the brain. They become subconscious or even unconscious in our learned behavior. You might say things sometimes without even meaning to say them. That's because language is, well, it's maybe two reasons. One, language is an unconscious process. You don't understand how you understand language, yet you understand it. So what you're aware of is actually very tiny compared to the unconscious and what happens with things like intuition and all sorts of things of the brain. But just taking it all and creating new patterns in ourselves, learning how to be happier, how to relate positively to things, how to just be great people. I mean, learning how to be a great person and having immense respect for myself because who I've created. Creating myself in immensely enthusiastic and expressive and open and essentially fearless way is really empowering. And so when you start to empower yourself and you start to free yourself of the negative rituals, negative habits, you can install new habits too. You can also use those new habits that you install to overpower the old habits, because blossoming is so much more incredible than the pain of just remaining that bud that never opened. And when we get closer to our goal of ultimate success, you can feel that excitement of getting closer and closer instead of just playing the infinite game of halfway there and back, halfway there and back. Stupidity. So why not go all the way? Why not fulfill yourself like you want to? Why not take control of your neurology, which is responsible for your future, and install patterns of positivity and the way of success? Because when we live success as a way of life, that is when we become successful. And we can be successful all the time in achieving what we want to. At least it's possible. So use the chemical cocktails wisely, use your language wisely, relate to yourself so that you are successful. And if you get stuck, feel free to get a hold of me. I mean, I have been researching this stuff for a very long time, and I've been working with a whole lot of people by now on making people successful, making them really successful. And let's just amp it up, you know? Because even Aristotle, he said comparing an uneducated man to an educated man is like comparing a dead man to an alive man. The uneducated are dead. They're as good as dead. The educated, or the people that know how to be successful, at least that's what I would think generally, those people are as good as alive. That's what Aristotle is saying. He's saying it's just like comparing a dead person to an alive person, or an uneducated person to an educated person. And I mean, I personally see that huge difference, that distinction between people's lives that are simply ignorant and uneducated and the people that are wise and draw upon the collective knowledge and wisdom of humanity to make their decisions, and they are really successful. That's what I've noticed. And just modeling is really important, because people are already really successful. What I do is I simply model people that are already incredibly successful in what area that I want. And so when I see someone that's super successful, I don't go to college for 4 years and study sales. I actually go to the top salespeople in the world and I study from them. And I learn what the best sales techniques in the world are. And I simply just adapt to that and learn that and work with it and do it consciously to where it becomes automatic. It becomes effortless, natural, easy. And that's how I live my life now. I mean, this stuff is just so effortless and easy to me. and it just happens naturally. Like I'm expressive, and I want to improve the quality of people's lives, because when they start taking the red pill, I start seeing massive amounts of improvements, and people come to me and just say they owe me everything, their life. They're excited. They didn't know that things could be even experienced this way, and they just so freaking happy. And yeah, if you want to be one of those people, feel free to get a hold of me. I would love to. I would be glad to accept your money in order to make you super successful and give you the happiness that you want, because it's so much more valuable than money. Please do it for you, and just simply be who you want to be, experience what you want to experience, have what you want to have, feel what you want to feel, as long as you're not harming anyone else. Why not just experience the magic and the mystery and the majesty of living and being alive and being aware and being magnificent?